Regular session.
With the go.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. Mr. President, the following in the previous interpellations of the good senator from Cavite, we suspended the deliberations and there were a number of items that the Senator Lacson wanted to be submitted. And the following were the list of fully operational irrigation systems, the operational percentage per irrigation system, and the solar irrigation projects breakdown as to regions, cost, and contractors. And we have been informed by the LBMRO that an advance copy was forwarded to Attorney Louis Martinez via email.
We confirm that, Mr. President. Distinguished sponsor, what they submitted is is a link, yung report as of December 2024. And on Monday, it's already December 1, 2025. So
Yes.
baka pwede merong masabit na more updated list.
This is the one?
Medyo out of date yung sinabmit.
Yes. We have another listing here of the compliance with the issues and concerns raised during the plenary debate, budget debate. Number one, balog-balog, and several other items, including the requested contracts. This is as of 25 November 2025 dated, but the items and the update is as of October 2025.
I leave it to the sponsor.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr.
And
President.
therefore, we will turn this over to whom? To the good senator, as well as to the. We will have a copy submitted to our chairman of the Committee on Finance.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. There being no member who wishes to interpolate the budget, Senator Marcoleta also said he will no longer interpolate the budget of the NEA. I move that the budget of the said agency be deemed submitted. I so move, Mr.
Any
President.
objection? Hearing none, the budget of the DIA is hereby deemed submitted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Senator Lacson, Senator Marcoleta, and our colleagues. Maraming salamat.
For a minute suspension, Mr. President. So may I ask for minutes?
Session suspended.
Okay, maghintay muna tayo. Nag-suspend sila sandali. Okay, wait a moment. Kaysa wala.
Mr. President, I move that we consider the budget of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development and recognize and all its attached agencies and recognize its sponsor, Senator Wing Gatchalian, for the details of the budget.
Any objection? Hearing none, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development's budget is in order.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Gatchalian is recognized as sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. President, we respectfully submit for the body's consideration the fiscal year 2026 proposed new appropriations of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development and its attached agencies and corporation amounting to 6.4 billion pesos. And the breakdown is as follows. For the Office of the Secretary, 1.4 billion pesos. For Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, 526 million pesos. For the National Housing Authority, 4.3 billion pesos. For the Social Housing Finance Corporation, 166 million pesos. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, before I recognize our first interpolator, I just want to recognize my guests from Bukidnon, Mr. President, that they're here now. Our mayor from my hometown of Maramag, Bukidnon, together with the other LG officials that are here.
We welcome your guests to the Senate.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the first to interpolate the measure is our distinguished colleague, Senator Jingo Estrada.
Senator Jingo Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I will just dwell on two topics. First is the Monterrasas de Cebu project, Mr. President. Mr. President, the DNR has formed a joint inspection and investigation regarding the Monterrasas de Cebu project amid complaints and concerns that the ambitious project contributed to the unprecedented flooding in the city of Cebu, particularly in the Guadalupe area. The DNR also issued a notice of violations and a stoppage order last November 12, while the Cebu City government has launched a separate investigation. My question is, when did the suit issue the certificate of registration and license to sell to the developer behind the Monterrasas de Cebu project?
Thank you, Mr. President, for that question. And I thank Senator Jinggoy for those queries. The issuance of the certificate of registration came in multiple times. The first one was given on 2008, and then the second one was 2009. The following one on 2024, and the last one was 2025 this year.
Okay. May I know what violations will trigger the suspension of the certificate of registration and license to sell of the developer in this case?
So, Mr. President, the certificate of registration has multiple prerequisites. So, one ground for the certificate of registration to be canceled is the cancellation of its ECC. Another ground, if the building permit is also canceled or revoked, then it can also be a ground to cancel its certificate of registration. So there are multiple grounds that can be used in order to cancel the certificate of registration, because there are different prerequisites that allows the certificate of registration to be issued.
Right. By the way, Mr. Sponsor, who is the developer of this project?
Mr. President, I was advised by the DSUD team that the original proponent was Landco, and then eventually a company called Gen V bought out Landco.
Who is the owner? Do you know the owner?
Mr. President, the developer is Gen V Agro-Industrial Development Corporation. Let me just get the directors and stockholders of the company.
Just submit it.
If you allow, the department can just submit it,
All
Mr.
right.
President. Thank you.
Since the DNR already issued notice of violations, can the DSUD suspend or revoke the license to sell?
Well, Mr. President, the current situation right now is, like you mentioned, the DNR is investigating the possible environmental transgressions. The local government as well is also doing its own investigation. But as long as those documents still stand and are still valid, the ECC, the Sangguniang resolutions, the building permits, the department will not revoke the certificate of registration.
Correct. Well, Mr. President, in your view, is it still proper for Monterrasas to continue selling their properties even though there are ongoing investigations left and right?
But Mr. President, because there's no um, official communication from DNR as well as local governments. But as soon as there are adverse findings and their ECC be revoked or the local governments will revoke their permits, then the certificate of registration will also be affected, and they will be instructed to cease the selling of their products.
Okay, since ito bang DSUD, hindi ba sila gumagawa ng kanilang internal investigation with regard to this project?
Actually, the division, Mr. President, the DSUD is regulating on the selling portion or the commercial aspect of the project, Mr. President, while the DNR is regulating the environmental aspect of the project. Of course, the LGU has much more broader powers. It's general welfare of the constituency. So as long as there is no official communication from the DNR and from the LGU on the violations, the commercial aspect or the regulation of the commercial aspect will still stand.
Yes. I was informed that the city government of Cebu is against this project since is my information correct?
Yeah, well, Mr. President, from the information I gathered from DSUD, there's a permit, a valid permit from the local government, and you're also once a mayor.
The local government.
The local government. This type of projects cannot proceed without a valid Sanggunian resolution.
But the provincial government, I think, is against this project since it contributed to the flooding of Cebu City itself.
Well, as I understand it, the project is located inside Cebu City, and it's the Cebu City local government who should be regulating and supervising this project.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sponsor. Let's go to the second topic on government housing projects. Initially, under the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino, or the 4PH program, the government aims to build 1 million houses per year, totaling 6 million units by the end of President Marcos's term. But the target has since been revised, and the DSUD was quoted as saying that it aims to construct 3.2 million housing units before President Marcos steps down in 2028. My question is, as we speak, how many housing units have been constructed since the start of the Marcos administration?
Yeah, Mr. President, for the direct housing, it's 113,000 housing provisions. And for the indirect housing, it's 314,000. So a total of 428,000.
Only? So hindi natin mamimit yung target before the term of President Marcos ends?
Well, the target, Mr. President, is 1.1 million by 2028. So meron pa hong balancing 705,000.
Kasi ang usapan
Medyo tall order. Challenging ho talaga,
the
actually.
government aims to build 1 million houses per year, totaling 6 million units by the end of the term of President Marcos.
Well, you're correct, Mr. President. They had to revise their targets. I think 1 million is very ambitious, Mr. President, and they have to be realistic with the budgetary constraint.
Ano yun, niloloko natin taong bayan? Bakit sinabi 1 million per year?
Yes.
So right now, as we speak, how many? How many houses? 400? 400,000 plus pa lang.
Well, Mr. President, we all know that we have a new leader, a new secretary in the Department of Housing, and after his analysis and consultation with stakeholders, the 1 million per year seems like it was a very big challenge.
So what is the revised, how many housing units per year? Or yung target before the end of the term of President Marcos in 2028?
About 200,000 per year, Mr. President. That's the target. So, ang target po nila by the end of the term of the President, they would have constructed at least 705,000 units to complete the 1.1 705,000 to complete.
705,000 units.
From 1 million a year, ang naging target is 1 million in the next 3 years. No?
So sa 6 na taon ni Pangulong Marcos, 700,000 lang ang
Hindi. Magiging 1.1 million.
1.1 million.
Yes, Mr.
Pero ang
President.
pangako nung una, 1 million a year.
Yes, Mr.
Pero
President.
ginawa 1 million sa 6 years.
Yes, Mr. President. In short, tama ho kayo.
Okay. Where are these housing projects located, if I may ask? Is it all over the country?
It's all over the country, Mr. President, but primarily in the high-density areas like Region 3, NCR, and Region 4A.
Are these climate resilient housing units?
Yes, Mr. President, these should, before they build, they make sure that the area is suitable for habitation, and they also make sure that they have mitigating measures to mitigate the effects of, let's say, heavy rainfall or natural geographic contours of the area. Kung may mga ilog ho doon, they also make sure that they have mitigating projects to mitigate the effects of those riverways, Mr. President.
Okay. May I know how much is allocated under the 2026 budget for the housing projects as a sponsor?
About 4.3 billion, Mr. President.
4.3 billion.
Yes.
Magkano bang isang housing unit?
The Senate actually increased it by 1.5 billion, Mr. President.
So, naging
Dati 2.7, tinaas ho natin to 4.3, Mr. President.
is that sufficient enough?
Their request
For
is more, Mr. President.
For itong year, for next year, 200,000
Yes,
ang
Mr. President.
Target, no? Sufficient ba? So, magkano yung,
Well, Mr. President,
magkano per unit?
Mr. President, during the budget hearing, the Secretary made a very extensive presentation on how he reformed the 4PH project. So, ngayon covered na ho from informal settlers all the way to middle-income families, Mr. President. So, my housing products na for all of these families, Mr.
Can you
President.
give me a ballpark figure kung magkano ang presyo ng bawat housing unit? Just a ballpark
Yeah.
figure.
So, Mr. President, for NHA, ang row house nila, 26 square meters floor area.
26 square meters?
26 po. May dalawang variant, 26 square meters and 28 square meters. For the 26 square meters is 806,000, Mr. President. Murang-mura lang, Mr. President. Below 1 million.
806,000.
Yes, for the 28 square meters, it's 863,000.
Maliit lang diferensya.
Maliit
So
lang.
yung 28 square meters, kaano ba kalaki yun? Kasama na lahat yun?
Oh, kasama na ho yan.
Kusina, banyo.
Yeah. Kasama na ho yan.
Eh kung 10 anak ng isang pamilya, paano magkakasya?
O is 40 square meters, so meron pa ho area for small garden or kung masenso sila, merong maliit na parking lot. So the lot area is 40 square meters. The floor area of the house is between 26 to 28.
Ano pa naging problema kung bakit bumaba yung target ng DSUD from 3.2 million to 700,000 units? Masyadong malaki yata yung binaba ng target ng DSUD.
there were, admittedly, Mr. President, there are two major reasons. One is the design of the 4PH. In the past, the design wasn't hitting the market that needed the most. So that's why it created delays in the implementation. In fact, for 2025, they have not obligated the amounts for the 4PH project. There's still 683 million pesos. So because of that delay, natulak po yung kanilang targets. That's one. And of course, the fiscal space, Mr. President, hindi mo the BP funding is the other one, Mr. President. But I think yung design is the top reason bakit po hindi naabot yung 1 million per year. Tama ho kayo, yung po yung the design of the program wasn't targeting the right income class families, Mr. President.
So, may I know who will benefit from these housing units? Are the informal settlers going to benefit from this? At vinivet ba ito? Sino nagve-vet nito?
So, Mr. President, yung bagong design po ng 4PH is actually targeting almost all income streams from families is this families?
Yes, sir, deciles. Income deciles.
Of
From the
families.
lowest.
From families earning 11,000 pesos all the way to families earning 74,000 pesos.
Yeah. Who
So
does
yun
the
po,
vetting?
yun po yung kanilang spectrum.
Who will do the vetting of this project?
Well, it's a combination, Mr. President, because meron rin silang partnership with the private sector. So yung private sector, they're the ones doing the vetting of the families.
Who among the private sectors are concerned here?
Kasi ho, yung the private sector can apply to Pag-ibig to build socialized housing, and the government subsidizes the interest that the families are giving. Doon pumapasok yung gobyerno. So it becomes affordable for them every month. And then there's also another modality wherein it's NHA that builds everything, and NHA vets the beneficiaries, Mr. President. So dalawang modality
So,
po.
pwedeng isama yung mga kapulisan,
Yes, Mr. President, they're Pag-ibig
military,
members. Basta Pag-ibig member ka,
mga
pwede ka.
teachers.
Yes, Mr.
Kasi ito
President.
yung mga lumalaban sa nagtatanggol ng ating
Yes, Mr. President.
gobyerno.
Yes.
Medyo mababa pa yung sahod. Kailangan siguro isama natin itong
Yes, so
mga
kung pulis ka and you want to buy...
kapulisan, military, tsaka yung mga guro. Well, according to a recent study, the housing needs in the Philippines is estimated at 6.9 million units for 2022 to 2028. 819,000 in NCR, 2.7 million in Luzon, 1.38 million in Visayas, and 1.96 million in Mindanao. The housing backlog, according to researchers, has already reached an alarming level. And if not addressed, this could surge to 22 million by 2040, according to the United Nations Habitat. And what are the steps or reforms being undertaken by the department to address distortions in the housing market and make housing easily accessible, especially to low-income families? Masyadong mababa ang target natin na 700,000. And sinabi ng UN, kailangan 6.9
Totoo.
million.
Yeah, Mr. President, that is a really sad reality, Mr. President. So the department is undertaking two modalities. One is purely financed by government. Ibig sabihin po, gobyerno magpapatayo, and NHA is the lead in that endeavor. The other one is in partnership with the private sector, wherein the government steps in to subsidize the interest payments. No? So ito naman po ay tinutulungan ng buyer side. No? So magiging affordable po yung kanilang amortization every month. Doon po pumapasok yung gobyerno.
Kasi nakaka-alarma naman malaman na 6.9 million units ang kailangan ng ating bansa tapos 700,000 lang ang target natin. Anyway, pwede ba malaman kung ilan ba yung informal settlers dito sa buong bansa? How many informal settlers are there in the whole Philippines?
The estimate is about 1.4 million informal settler
1
families. 4
The whole
million.
Philippines or only in the whole Philippines? You sure?
That is the that is their internal survey, Mr. President.
Internal survey of
This
this
is this is 1.4 million families, Mr. President.
families.
Families.
Alright.
So if you times 5 that's
By rule
about
of thumb.
6 million.
By rule of thumb, you multiply it by 5.
Yes,
times
Mr. President.
So kung 1.4 million families, that's 7 million
Individuals.
individuals.
Yes.
All right. So, kanina sinabi nyo kasama sila sa recipients ng pabahay. So, do you think 700,000 is sufficient enough to accommodate these informal settlers, makapulisan, pamilitary, ng mga ating guro?
Mr. President, shelter is really a very challenging endeavor on the part of government because you have new families. Yung mga new families, they are also looking for new homes. Then you have to address existing informal settlers that are also eventually, alam naman ho natin, lumalaki rin yung kanilang families. There are informal settler families that are informal settlers for generations. No? So, in catch-up po talaga very challenging. But the department is coming up with new financing schemes para hindi naman po lahat gobyerno nagpapatayo. That's why they also partnered with the private sector so that the private sector can invest in shelter and government will come in to pay the amortization. And we subsidize the amortization to make it affordable. So may mga iba-ibang schemes. Hindi po parehong formula for all the different housing needs of our country.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor, for being patient in answering all my questions. I terminate my interpellation to give way to Senator Risa, who is the next to interpellate.
Maraming salamat po, Senator Jinggoy. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
All right, Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, next to interpolate is our Deputy Majority Leader, Senator Rizal Tiberos.
The Deputy Majority Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros, is recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President, at magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair, at sa DSUD family. Unang tanong ko po tungkol sa accountability para sa utility delays at compliance, particular po water access. So, Mr. Chair, Mr. President, we've repeatedly addressed the persistent infrastructure gaps in high-density housing projects, such as the 7-year delay in water service for occupied sites like Alpas, and the complete lack of water service preventing occupancy in projects like AMC. Also, given the reported failure of Prime Water to invest in San Fernando, Pampanga, paano po magiging posible na ma-occupy yung daan-daang 4 PH units? Anong specific institutionalized action ang gagawin ng DSUD sa loob ng, halimbawa, 90 days para i-mandate at i-expedite, pabilisin yung water connection mula sa mga suppliers para siguruhin na mababudgetan yung mga utilities, Mr. Chair?
So, thank you for the question, Senator Risa. For the HDH Alpas, located in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, the interim solution. Legal ba ito? Yeah. Go. Sorry for the delay, Mr. President.
It's all right, Mr.
The HDH Alpas, which is located in San Jose del Monte, the interim solution is a construction of deep well, while the LGU is going to take over. Tama ba? Yeah, but are they going to take? Okay. So, sorry, I'm just clarifying. So, the LGU is already taking action on Prime Water. The supplier here is Prime Water, and it's the LGU that is taking action and coordinating with Prime Water. But the interim solution is that the Social Housing Finance Corporation will construct a deep well, and this will be operational between 90 to 120 days.
Okay.
So, yun po yung interim solution nila para magkaroon ng tubig. Pero hindi ako satisfied sa 90 to 120 days. So, walang tubig. Kayo kaya, huwag maligo ng 90 to 120 days.
Hindi
Diba?
lang mahirap, Mr. Chair. Imposible.
Kaya nga eh. Dapat bukas may tubig na ito. Dapat kung habang walang tubig sila, wag rin kayo maligo kaya.
Mahirap po.
Nagrarasyon naman raw, Senator Risa. So may interim nagrarasyon ho sila ngayon, but the second interim is to magkaroon ng deep well na legal. No? I was verifying, dapat ho legal. Hindi pong colorum na deep well. And this will be already applied with the DNR. No? So, ang request namin ni Senator Risa, mapabilis ho to dahil hindi naman pwedeng walang tubig yung community.
Totoo po, Mr. Chair. Ganito rin po ba yung magiging immediate tapos interim solution dun po sa San Fernando, Pampanga, Mr. Chair?
I was informed by Social Housing Finance that the Crystal Peak Estates in San Fernando, Pampanga, wala naman pong issue. It's the LGU and the local utilities that is operating the distribution, water distribution. Nag-take over na pala ho yung LGU. So they are now operating the water distribution activities in that area.
Well, I understand, Mr. Chair, na nag-take over na yung LGU sa San Fernando, Pampanga. But are they actually operating already? Are they actually na nakaka-deliver na po ng tubig
Yes,
sa mga
Mr.
bahay?
Mr. President, so that is a affirmative.
All right. So that's good to know, Mr. Chair, para yung daang-daang 4 PH units doon sa San Fernando, Pampanga, mauokupa nga dahil may available na water utility doon. Good to hear na within pasok sa 90 days sana na specific institutionalized action doon sa Alpas, San Jose del Monte. Although may range 90 to 120 days. So salamat sa Chair for asking for immediate urgent action.
And I also thank Senator Risa because I know that you are also very concerned about this community. I know that you are monitoring the welfare of that community. So thank you for bringing this up so that the Social Housing Finance Management can take a look at this once again.
Oo nga pala, Mr. Chair, at salamat sa SHAFC for undertaking the the construction of that deep well. An example na bukod sa good share, bukod sa akin at iba pang mga kasama dito na inaasikaso ng DSUD, yung ganito mga communities, at yung key shelter agencies tulad ng SHAFC should and do step in kapag may immediate interventions and then more strategic interventions na kailangan po. So, dako naman po, and before I leave this first topic, question, Mr. Chair, maigi po sana, kung pwedeng tanggapin ito ng DSUD bilang mungkahi, good if there will be a senior official who will be assigned to developing and seeking resources for a water plan for these housing projects, Mr. Chair. Just for the record and the consideration of the department.
The DSUD families here, they're complete, so they'll study your proposal, Mr. President.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. So, dako na po ako sa affordability crisis and subsidy recalibration. At least ganito po yung karanasan at impormasyon na dumating sa informal settlers. At particular, yung concern po dito, institutionalizing yung 1% target rate para sa Maralitang Tagalunsod. The Lapidario Medium Rise Project in Cavite, ito po ikinuwento sa amin ng Kilos Maralita. Yung Lapidario tragically demonstrates that the 3% interest rate disqualifies the intended urban poor beneficiaries. So, magko-commit po ba, Mr. Chair, ang DSUD na agad mag-issue ng joint policy circular kasama ng pag-ibig para yung mga pangako ni dating Secretary Acuzar ay madedeliver pa rin. Kasi po, when the interest rate was at 1%, the beneficiaries reported that more than 700 people qualified for the project. But at a 3% interest rate, 159 of them only would qualify. And these people already looked for a parcel and a developer and already actually enrolled in the earlier 4PH program. And I would suppose that a similar highly concessional package would also be needed for families who are being involuntarily resettled from no-build zones at the edge of rivers and from government project right-of-way. So iba pang concern nito, Mr. Chair. So pwede po bang i-consider ni Secretary ang mga tao sa ganitong mga sirkumstansya? Una, yung pumasok sa programa at 1% interest rate, tapos nabalitaan nila 3% interest rate na po. And then pangalawa, yung mga tao na nasa no-build zones, nasa right-of-way, pero sa pilitan silang inililipat, Mr. Chair.
The new secretary is committing to maintaining the 1% effective interest rate for 4PH projects. Ito ay quite innovative because this is subsidizing the demand side of the housing project. And 1% is actually reasonable, Mr. President. And during the public hearing, he also demonstrated the reforms that he plans to do in order to cover more families in the 4PH project. Dati ho kasi limited lang to middle income and the higher income families, but ngayon na pati mga informal sector ay mako-cover na rin, and the low income families. Yeah.
I'll also get to that point, Mr. Chair, a little later, kasi magiging very welcome development po yun sa mga informal settlers, mga maralitang tagalunsod na tinataas ng DSUD yung target nila na